supposed to take the makers off the table, but it's too late now. Might as well take a sip.
I did not see that coming.
Oh my
it's
God.
the lore. It's the mystique of it all.
We're still doing it. We haven't been cut off yet.
Oh, shit. Good job, buddy. Nice job, Daniel. Good job, man. Keep that rod bent. Keep that rod bent.
I mean, people used to get so scared of them, they had to shoot them.
Yeah, that's true.
But because you literally can't stop thinking about it. You know, you can't scratch the itch enough.
Hey folks, how's it going? We're back for another episode of the Spot Burn Podcast with your hosts, as always, Josh and
Dan from Musky Fool.
Fall is in the air, and we're excited about it. We're here to talk about a lot of stuff today, folks. We got a lot to cover.
A lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff. No complaining about the DNR. That'll be at the episode 31.
Yes. But what's currently happening, Dano?
Well, I know I'm not supposed to drop any secrets about this, but you've been in town this week. We're putting some finishing touches on something that we're very excited about. We've been working on, what can we say? We've been working on something new related to our favorite thing.
It's near and dear to your hearts.
Oh, shit. That's going to give it away a little bit.
That's the riddle there, folks. That's all we can say.
More coming, hopefully, November. You're going to be excited. Bam Bam has been pulling out absolute pure magic.
Magic. Illusions, Michael.
And then I've just been ruining his dreams, and we've been going back and forth for ages. Years. Yeah. Decades.
So many
decades.
years.
This has been brewing for decades.
Yep. To
That's
this
enough
moment,
teasing.
to this November.
But yeah, keep your eyes peeled about November. We're excited. That's all we can tell you. It's gonna be pretty dearly sweet. That wasn't a very good pun. We're gonna move on. Josh, so we're gonna talk about some tournaments. Not a whole lot here, but the third PMTT Professional Musky Tournament Trail wrapped up. We've talked about a few of these in the past. Q1, the first qualifier was Cave Run in April. 32 fish caught. Winners were from Marathon, Wisconsin, Nate Osfar and Brian. I don't know how to pronounce Brian's name. Nate Osfar is actually going to be a speaker for the Madison Cap Cities. Then they came to Madison for spot number 2. Only 12 fish caught this year.
Ruh-roh.
But then, give us the update. The last one happened a few weeks ago in Minnesota.
Q3, the third stop of the PMTT at Lake Minnetonka, Minnesota. Dude, what a freaking baller of a tournament. 42 fish caught.
Yeah, it looks like day one was electric.
Totally cray.
Electric.
Totally cray. Of those 42 fish, a 51.5 incher was caught.
Wow.
So crazy.
Yeah, I heard
a lot of really nice fish.
Briefly listened to the results video. Shallow, bucktails.
Ooh.
You know, that was Saturday. But it was interesting because a lot of folks that you would have expected to do well didn't. Some new folks, a lot of Wisconsin representation at the top of the Minnesota leaderboard. You love to see it.
Sweet, dude.
So that's really it. Means the qualifiers are wrapped up for anybody that pays attention to this.
Now to the main event.
The final on the Chippewa flowage. Shit, I forgot. We should know this. We'll look it up quick. Eagle River or Chippewa flowage. But the final's coming up in Wisconsin in October. All the teams that have qualified have been published. You pretty much had to catch a fish in one of these events.
Yep.
All to play for.
All to play.
Hopes, dreams in the future of musky fishing.
Reputations, new boats.
Yeah, the winners of the...
I think it is Eagle River.
Yeah, I think it is. Ty and Tate Sennett won last year. They won the final. There's 2 competitions. There's the team of the year, which is kind of like the league winner who had the best year throughout all of the tournaments. And then you can just win the final, and the winner of the final is who gets the free recon boat. And I think the Sennetts were just delivered their recon boat from last year because I saw a brand new recon tiller posted for sale by Ty or Tate. I can't remember who posted it. So there's a brand new recon out there for sale, and there's a chance to win a new one this fall.
Dang.
At the PMTT. So yeah, that's exciting. We did not fish the PMTT this year because we are a bunch of liberal We can just like self-edit it now, so you don't have to do it later.
have to
But
do it later.
we'll be back. We're not done. We just had a different plan for the year. It was a little busy.
Different plans. Life's plans.
Life happens. There's a saying there, right?
Probably. Oh, life happens. Coffee helps. We learned that at our
Airbnb.
Airbnb earlier this spring. All right. On to the next topic.
Please take us to the fly fishing tournaments.
One of our favorite topics this time of year to talk about. The tournament season for fly fishing. So we got Treelands and Beasts to the East coming up.
Yeah, no, we wish we were going to both. We know we want to someday. We will only be at Treelands this year formally. We will be sponsoring all 4 tournaments. There are 4 musky fly fishing tournaments. Let's not forget Treelands, Beast, the Monster Mash in Canada, and the newly created Kentucky River Classic.
Dope.
So that's cool. There's 4. We could even maybe get a little tournament trail going down.
Will we be going to Kentucky? We don't know. TBD.
I want to. So
we're definitely
can
going
we go,
to Treelands.
Can we please go? Can we please go to Kentucky?
Everyone should get on Instagram right now and message Jen and tell her
Jen
to let us.
_ Dono, 2 N's. Hit that personal account because she won't check the Musky Fool account when you heathens are reaching out.
Let her know that we need to go to Kentucky.
And just say, please let Josh and Dan go to Kentucky. They really, really want to. Thanks.
Yes. We've been training our whole lives for this tournament.
Yes. But anyway, Treelands and Beasts are coming up. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. We got 2 teams from the representing Musky Fool. And we're all staying in one big old happy cabin together.
Good
So
times are ahead. And it's a full field, 100, first time I've ever seen it fill up way in advance.
Like 6 months out in advance.
Treelands didn't even post this year that the tournament was happening because they didn't have to because it was full.
That's crazy. A lot of new faces too. A lot of first timers out there. Good to see.
Some fresh meat. We got some fresh meat coming with us this year.
Fresh meat.
Haas's fresh meat.
Yes. Haas is usually off guiding,
Uh-huh.
working, fighting the good fight while we're all having fun up at the tournament. But this year we've wrangled him in. So he
was just so disappointed that Gabe and I took second place to those lowly Minnesota Thorn Bros. Kidding about the lowly part. But am I?
Dude, why does Minnesota always come over here and win Treelands? They've done it the last several years in a row.
Have they? Yeah, they have actually.
We got to bring the trophy back.
Yeah, Jesus, when you think about it.
The Paul Bunyan axe.
Wow, that's actually a pretty sad state of affairs. All right, there you have it. Calling the shots. Wisconsin needs to win Treelands this year. So if you're a Wisconsin team and you're out there, bring your A game, please. We're sick of this Viking bullshit.
Yep.
But what else do we got planned? Nothing really. We don't really know where we're going to fish. We don't have any programs dialed in. All the boats are working. All the physical bodies seem to be working, which is important as we head into the season.
I think we're good. The good news is the rivers have been playing ball all season. So I think a lot more rivers are going to be in play come tournament time.
Thank God. Last year was just lakes.
Just lakes.
The rivers were dead.
We might still do some lake shenanigans. We might do some river stuff. Who knows? The area you can fish in the tournament is crazy. The boundaries are insane. That's almost like, in and of itself, paralysis by analysis.
Yeah,
where are you going to fish?
It'll be interesting to see how last year's results. Last year was the first year that they opened the boundaries to be this massive area. And the winner took advantage of that. We took second on water that was in the tournament the year before. The winner took first fishing new water that was not in the tournament the year before.
And has never been in the tournament.
Has never been in the tournament. So you
Very
wonder,
good
like,
strategy.
Will they go back? Will others spread their wings? Will other people go to their honey hole? I'm going to their honey hole. So watch out, Russ and Ben. We know where you caught them, and we're coming. We're coming to you.
It was a bold strategy because Treelands is unique in that you have to be back by a deadline every day to get those fish registered. So even though the tournament boundaries are, 5-6 counties or whatever, you still got to be back by 7 p.m. to have those fish verified, registered. And they had quite a commute on both sides of the day. So bold play. It clearly paid off for them.
Yeah, it was the best best point showing in Treeland's history.
That's
I mean, that's
crazy.
what we talked about in the previous episode. If
Yeah.
any other Treelands in the history of Treelands, Gabe and I would have won with our point total.
Yes. You guys had a great.
We did
a great tournament
we
too.
had a good showing. We showed up. You never know what's going to happen this year. You could show up again. You could get skunked.
That's what I love.
I'm rooting for Wisconsin. That's all I know. I want a Wisconsin team, preferably with Josh or Gabe on it, to win.
That would be lovely. I
Yeah.
would love to win. I've never even been in the top 3 at Treelands. My best is 4th place. And the thing that I love so much about this tournament is you've never seen the same team.
No, I was about to say that. I was like, no, there's no consistency.
There's
it
no
doesn't make sense. It
consistency.
doesn't ever make sense.
It truly is anyone's
Yeah.
game out there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sleeper teams too. You got to watch out
There
for.
are sleeper teams and sleeper fish. That it's a musky tournament at the end of the day, so someone could just show up with a 48 because that was what happened that day.
Yeah.
Happens in PMTT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our strategy we've used in previous
Are you
seasons.
going to adopt your same strategy as last year?
Yeah, like where I buy all my competitors an excess amount of alcohol.
Oh.
So they start getting loose lips on me.
The
and they
problem
they
is
start
that everybody's
revealing.
getting like old and sober.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know.
You used to be
I'm
able to go
leading
use
the
that
charge with
strategy.
all that too.
Well, it's smart for you if you're trying to get other people drunk, but if everybody else is also sober, you're kind of
yeah, then you got to do other things to get them to talk, and
I
we
know,
don't.
I
And
know.
we're not allowed to talk about those things.
no, that's not. You got to keep that to yourself.
But other than that,
But you're not going to scout new water
no,
in the tournament.
no, not advised to get windshield time during the tournament or
It's kind of
try
a
new
high stakes strategy.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did go back to that lake. We still have not found any muskies in it.
Yeah. I will do a little bit of a spoiler alert. The last 2 tournaments I fished, I've only done lakes.
That is true. And you haven't placed in the top 5.
And I have not placed in the top 5. The best year I ever did there, we only fished rivers.
The Rivers have won it the last 3 years. Despite last year being tough on the Rivers, they still won it.
Yeah, it's so hard. You truly don't know until like 48 hours
Should we do
out.
some predictions?
Yeah, let's do some.
So for
I think that'd
Treelands
be fun.
and Beast?
Yeah,
So we could let's do point total,
point total.
winning point total,
Okay.
and biggest fish for both tournaments.
For both tournaments.
I don't really know the point system for Beast. Is it similar to?
I probably can't talk on that either. I'm not, as familiar.
So for Beast, we'll just say how many fish the winner catches. How about that?
Okay.
And then biggest.
And biggest fish.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
So you go first for Treelands. I'll go first for Beast.
Okay, Treeland's winner this year is going to rack up an astounding 67 points.
Wow, you're going like it's going to be a shootout.
Like a lot of touchdowns in this tournament. Wow. 67 points. Big fish this year is going to be 47, but I think that team's going to have multiple 40s in the bag.
So big fish is on the winning team is another little side bet, pot prediction.
Yep.
Okay, that's a bold prediction. You heard it here, folks. Josh Smeltzer, most point total ever and the biggest muskie ever caught in the Treelands tournament. He's predicting this year.
Because the PMTT isn't going to be there the week before.
They will not.
And all the rivers are juicy. And
They will. There's a lot of good anglers.
a lot of good
signed up.
anglers. So we shall see.
Okay. I'm going to hedge a little bit more. I'm going to say the biggest fish is a 44.
44.
And the winning point total is 37.
37 points.
Yeah. Because that's what we ended with last year.
Wait,
I think.
how many points is a 44?
A 44 is
It's
8
not-
points.
Okay.
44 minus 32.
I had a little bit of a brain fart there for a second. I thought maybe a 44.
20. A 44 is 20 points.
So yeah, that's maybe the winning team would catch a 44. So that's 20 points, and then the additional 17 points would come from
2 other fish.
2 other fish.
Yeah. Usually
Okay.
4 fish.
I mean, tournament aside, that would just be a fantastic weekend.
It would be a fantastic weekend.
I love that.
Yeah, I'd prefer 68 points. What'd you say? 60?
Six.
And a 47.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
Shooting
Bam
the
Bam.
moon.
That's what we're going for. Bam Bam. As long as we don't put any boats on the bank, we're gonna be golden.
So we got a pretty big spectrum in our predictions here for Treelands.
We did. Yeah, we kind of just came in at the tail ends of the risk curve. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll probably land right there in the middle. But as Nick Geller says you can't hit your shot unless you call it. So
yep.
He doesn't say that, I don't think, but
no,
he's always the one to ask us to predict today's events. So Beast, what's your Beast? Oh, I got to go first, right?
Oh, you can go first on this one. Yeah, go for it.
I think the winner of Beast is going to win with 2 fish. And I think the biggest fish will be 39 inches.
Okay, 2 fish, 39.
The biggest fish of the tournament will be 39 inches, and the winner will have 2.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Just look at the data, man. Look at the data.
Yeah, you're a spreadsheets guy. you like analyzing data. Okay. I feel you.
I don't think a 47 is going to be caught, but it would be a fair guess, and you never know.
Fun fact, though, that Beast is the only tournament to date that has seen a fish 50 inches caught during the tournament.
That is a fun fact. So
and
maybe I should eat my words.
And it was the first year that Beast ever did it. But
it's possible. It could happen at Treelands any year.
Historically, it has been trending a little bit towards more of Dan's prediction for Beast. I think I'm going to go with 3 fish.
3 fish for the winner.
Big fish, 42.
We'll have to revisit that. We don't need to write it down. It's recorded on a podcast. That's lovely. Yeah, I mean, what's your overall vibes going into Treeland this year? Teammate, since you are my teammate this year, are you extra ultra competitive? Are you renewed, refresh, and recharge? You just looking for a good time? Like, what's your dating profile say for Treelands?
I'm a year older and I'm a year shittier at this game. So I'm going.
Can I go back on my pick?
I'm going. I'm going into this
Gabe,
tournament.
Nick, or Jake, if you're out there and you want to trade.
I just want to have a good time, man. I'm going to bring my guitar. We're just going to have some laughs on the boat. If it happens, it happens.
Is that a Mando in the boat?
Yeah, pretty much just sitting in the back. I think, just being relaxed, having fun.
That's good. We'll be a good mixture because I'm out for blood.
Dan's out for blood.
Josh is happy camper and I'm out for blood.
I'm a happy camper, but I know that I'm going to be serious about our strategy and where we're going to go. So it allows me to be a happy camper because I just know that catching muskies is going to come naturally during the tournament.
Yeah. If I come in from day one and a Minnesota team is at the top of the leaderboard, I am going to get in trouble on day 2. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I want a protest to happen.
Okay,
it talks about it in the rules. Someone's got to just protest for the sake of protesting.
No one ever has. And
hear this right now, Ben and Russ. Know that I'm going to protest whatever you guys do that weekend. So you better be ready to back your shit up. We're coming at you with a protest from Madison.
You heard it here first, folks. Protest. Wait, let's unpack the protesting rules just a little bit.
Fair enough.
It is kind of a funny little stipulation in the book. What does it cost? Like $25 to announce your protest. If the protest goes through.
Yes, you remember this. I was like going to look it up.
If the protest goes through and you win your protest, you get your money back.
Correct.
If you lose the protest after you've reviewed the play and the officials have gone over everything, they keep your money.
Don't they, isn't there even a penalty to...
Yeah, maybe you have to pay everyone at the tournament.
No. It's not, look at this, full, right on the website, it says full.
There's
a picture of that goon. That fish wasn't even caught in Treelands.
Oh, no, that was I almost...
I know you did. I could sense that it was coming out of your mouth. I was about to mute you. Okay, let's see.
You have to get covered in tar and then have to run through a feather factory.
The tournament committee, acting in the best interest of the tournament, may initiate a formal protest at any time. Any contestant under protest may continue fishing. However, the catch will not be tallied The cost of $25 will be required to accompany a formal protest. The fee will be returned if found to be valid. So you're only out $25. I'm just gonna, dude. I think for just like mind games, just day one, you should just hit some people with protests and just be like, "I'm on you.
Yeah,
you better
yeah.
fucking get your shit tight tomorrow. I'm coming,
Dude.
I'm doing it." Just
It's
to
an
like rile people
unprecedented
up
strategy.
and kind of like, just like some faux competition. You know, just get it a little spicier. Just like you
Yeah.
came in, you just think you had the best musky day of your life, and there's a fucking protest waiting for you. It'd be like, who's this asshole? And I'm gonna be like, it's me.
Best $25 I ever spent.
I'm just gonna be sitting at the back of the bar, just smiling at people,
Oh
being
my
like,
God.
"Hey, how'd that go?"
Oh my God.
Hopefully, you got camera photos.
It's a strategy.
Okay,
It's not the smartest strategy, but it's a strategy.
Can't say I didn't warn you.
Can you protest your teammates?
We should do that. Can we do that?
Protest each other.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Be out $50 and just donate it to the cause. Or what if they're both valid? They're both valid, so we're DQ'd, but we walk out of Treelands with one protest. The first ever one protest was self-imposed.
That's a trophy I want to rent.
Yeah. All right, that's exciting. So you're kind of you're tempered, you're easygoing, you're going into this looking for a good time, not a great time.
I'm full Zen mode now.
That's good.
Yeah, and you, on the other hand, are out for blood. You got your ass kicked last year, Dan. How are you going to redeem yourself?
Speak for your fucking self over there, big guy. I did not get my ass kicked. We did a little. Yeah, we did. It felt like we did.
It's not our fault. All of our muskies were really small.
That's true. You caught more muskies than us. You caught more muskies than anyone at the tournament.
We did.
How does that feel?
That feels good. we had 16 musky
Are you guys
encounters.
sensing good team chemistry brewing right now? We're just like, this is what we're, after an hour and we haven't seen a fish, this is how we are. We're just like, what are you here for? What are you going to do about it? What's your fucking role? I don't know. I don't have live scope. I'm useless. No, that's not true.
I was just kidding about getting your ass kicked, Dan. But what is your
I
mentality?
accept your apology.
Thank you.
What is my mentality? It's different than last year. I don't have a mentality right now. My mentality is usually the same it always is, which is 40 points and you should win. So we're going to do the best things we know how to do to get 40 points, including cheat. Kidding. We're not cheating. I joke about it. It probably comes off wrong. Just funny because it's a fun tournament and whatnot. Yeah. But I do like the idea of playing mind games on people. I think it's a little bit of a soft. When you compare it to other tournament scenes, it's a little soft, and it could use a little bit of
it needs some grit.
Yeah, and not like
needs some drama.
Not like the gross like boat wrap sponsorship grit of walleye tournaments. I mean a little competitive flair, like protests. So yeah. There you have it. But I'm excited. I freaking love this time of year. I love this spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nostalgic. It's so good to see everybody. Like I get so excited about everybody that's coming up. Yeah. I'm already like hitting. Are you coming? Are you coming?
Yeah.
Because you might go a whole year and not see anybody. So much has changed.
You like feel it in your body on the drive up there.
Oh, I get more excited for this than most of the trips we do all year.
Yep.
And it's like, you want to compete, but it's really just the like once you get up there, you get to the Airbnb, and then you show up for the first dinner, and I'm excited.
And then on day 2,
By day 1, the night of, I don't want to come to dinner. I just go to my bed and ignore everybody, and I don't do that. That's pretty weak behavior. Just maybe an FYI there. It sounds a little preachy, but if for some reason you got a good plan in place and you go out there on day 1 and you just get kicked in the face, no muskies cooperate, the boat doesn't work, your partner sucks and can't cast, even though he told you he could, don't quit and go hide in your room on the night 1, because guess what? There's a good chance that like over 80% of those 100 anglers experienced the same thing as you that day.
Yeah.
It sucked. They didn't catch anything. Their partner didn't cast well. So just come hang out and commiserate with everybody That's the beauty of musky tournaments is we're all in this together. We all suck together, and it is pretty much luck as to who catches them. So you can go just hang out with all of us, and we can just commiserate and just, whine about it together. That's like what we like about this sport, right? Is the whining about it together. That's our favorite part.
The support group.
The support group.
That's not talked about in public, except at Treelands.
Are you going to teetotal all your way through Treelands?
Yes. I'm a teetotaling son of a bitch.
I like it. It's focused. You're riled and dialed this year. You're not fucking around. Around. You're saying the words out of your mouth are that you're easygoing and zen about this, but you're coming in the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
You've been on a strict diet, spring training. You did a Wim Hof breathing retreat in Finland.
Yeah.
None of that is true, by the way, guys.
It's the sleeper approach.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to see it coming.
See, I'm going for the Lance Armstrong approach to this.
Where
steroids,
your testicles gets removed.
Steroids.
And steroids. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Livestrong bracelets, but steroids mainly. Treelands and Beast. It's coming up. We're excited for Treelands. We are excited for Beast. It's really just a shame that they happen over 1 week and we can only go to one. But we're going to try and come to more. We really would love to go to all of them one day. I think it'd be, no one's ever won all of them. No one's hit the grand slam of musky fly fishing. So
nope.
Still possible, folks. Next up, we have a very, very inclusive, peaceful, joyous topic. You know what they say about wading into politics? I don't know what they say, and I didn't hear the advice, so we're going to wade into politics. But we're actually not. We have a little fun segment. This is called If Our Political Candidates for President Were a Fish, What Would They Be? And now I'll pass it over to Joshua Smeltzer. If our political candidate, Donald Trump, was a fish, what would he be?
All right, folks.
We came up with these. These are entirely original, by the way.
These are original. We actually spent more time coming up with these than we did writing the whole podcast today.
Yeah.
So it's really important to us that you pay attention and you listen. Okay.
These have been vetted by both political parties, all the super PACs.
Yep.
Supreme Court has given us an exemption.
We're hoping that this influences the way you vote, your family votes. So, please pay attention.
Fish are on the ballot this year, guys. Fish are on the ballot.
Fish. Okay, Donald Trump. Largemouth bass. First of all, he's got a huge mouth. He's aggressive. He'll eat and say just about anything.
He does fight hard.
He lives in the swamp.
He lives in the swamp.
Millions of people think it's the best fish on the planet, while others think he's a dump and a ditch pickle.
That tracks. I think that's pretty accurate. Largemouth bass.
Largemouth bass.
Donald Trump is a largemouth bass.
Yep. All right, Daniel.
Yeah, I what else would be a better fish than that for Donald Trump? It's not.
I don't know.
It's. I mean,
we couldn't think of one. At least a freshwater fish.
The largemouth. I mean, it's largemouth. It's literally.
There's something funny about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, he wouldn't be a smallmouth bass, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. What about Kamala Harris?
Kamala Harris. We thought about this one. We actually had to play a little switching around here. But Kamala Harris, we believe. God, you got the better one. I can't believe I have to read this one off. Kamala Harris is a common carp. Originally hailing from Asia, revered by some cultures as a delicacy, vilified by others as invasive. Some people want to spear them all and put them through a wood chipper. Not Kamala, just carp. Others just want to play with them and send them back. Tough as nails, sensitive, big lateral line, finicky. I don't know why any of those adjectives apply to Kamala, but that's a carp. I'm just describing carp at this point.
Smelly, but fights hard?
Yes, smelly, but fights hard. Also doesn't describe Kamala, but,
Very elusive, too, though.
Yes.
Very elusive.
Yes, can't pin him down for an interview. I think that's what the critics say these days.
Liked by a small niche of people?
I feel like we've probably executed this segment without any major catastrophes, and we should just move on before I say something stupid.
We're going to move on.
We're going to move on. Donald Trump, the largemouth bass, Kamala, the common carp. Who are you voting for this year? Don't tell us because we don't care.
We don't give a shit. All right, next up, folks, this segment is all about fall hype. We got a couple fun things on the docket here. First is a question that comes in from Jake.
I feel like we got to start. We got to get ourselves hyped. Like we got.
Let's get hyped about. Oh, I feel so hyped right now. Okay.
He's giving me the death.
Hype?
He's giving me the death glare, folks. He's giving me the death glare. If I can't touch the soundboard anymore.
Okay, you can do one more horn just to get. I said one, Daniel.
Okay, sorry. We're hyped. We're fucking hyped.
Okay, I'm so hyped. I'm overhyped. I'm so overstimulated. Okay, fall hype, folks. First.
I'm kidding.
Daniel, your soundboard privileges have been revoked. Okay.
My hands are up here.
Fall tips. So this question comes from Jake from Jake from Pennsylvania. How do I get my fly line deeper in the fall? I'm currently fishing with a 10 weight, straight wire leader, and an intermediate fly line. Do muskies come up and get it in clear water, or do I need to go deeper? And if so, how?
It's a great question. That is a good question. We get that all the time. There's a lot of different tricks and gear, but I think as fall approaches, we tend to start to fish a little bit deeper, targeting deeper water. So it's a good question to be asking yourself as we make the transition from summer to fall.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. So I paraphrased Jake's question. Jake actually wrote us a very nice email, which anybody can do. If you have topics that you want us to cover, questions, things you're struggling with, things that aren't working, send us an email. We just read it. We literally read it an hour ago, and it's already on the podcast an hour later. It's magic.
Whoa, real time.
Magic. But I paraphrased this a little bit because Jake had a really thoughtful, a little bit longer email, but it was basically like, how do I get my flies deeper? And a couple things. So the main thing is going to be, what fly are you trying to fish with what fly line? A really dense fly that on its own is very neutrally buoyant. If not, it almost floats.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear what I'm saying. Neutrally buoyant or almost floats compared to a fly that sinks. So the fly is going to have some action there. And then you pair that with a line that's either going to sink slowly, float, sink quickly, or somewhere in between. If you take a fly that sinks and you pair it with a heavy sinking line, it's going to combine and sink faster. If you combine a fly that sinks with a floating line, the fly is going to sink and the line will resist the sinking because it's floating.
Mm-hmm.
You catch my drift. So to get the fly deeper in your situation, I would say first thing I would get is like a sink 5 line.
Mm-hmm.
That intermediate's great. You can keep it on that spool or keep it in the box, use it for next summer. I tend to still like it in fall because those fish will go shallow in fall. So don't just put it away maybe entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But get a sink 5. That you'll notice a big difference. You'll notice a lot of those flies that weren't getting down are going to go several feet deeper. You're going to be able to count it down. I think you suggested that in your email. You can absolutely count flies down like you do baits.
1, 2, 3. Oh, got him.
Yep. You can do it just like that. It always eats on the 3.
It always eats on the 3.
So, yeah, I think sinking line would be my first recommendation.
Yep.
And then he mentioned some other things in there that I wanted to share because they all can be used. Mm-hmm. So sinking line is the most obvious one, but going back to what I just said, you can play around with the fly. You might tie the fly or design the fly or buy the fly to be sinking or floating. You can also add things onto the fly. So you had mentioned adding split shot to your leader. And I wouldn't really recommend that. Like when you think about how you add weight to a nymph or a rig that you're going to fish below a bobber,
mm-hmm.
split shot works. But when we're casting over and over again in streamer, we actually really want that weight to be closer to the fly because we want the fly to get down. And that's when we use those clip-on egg sinkers. Those are super easy to use. I don't know. I think I answered it.
Yeah.
Sinking line is probably the big one. Don't necessarily get rid of the intermediate line. You can definitely add some weight to the fly after the fact or while you tie it.
Those are some great tips.
And also you mentioned a straight wire leader. Just maybe a tip. I don't want to assume, but make sure there's fluorocarbon in between the wire leader and the fly line. You don't want to connect straight wire to your fly line. You want to connect straight wire to fluorocarbon to fly line.
Yes. Yep.
That's but great question. Appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah. A couple other tips maybe I'll add to that would be the nuances of a river. If you find that your fly, like if you're casting downstream and that fly's not getting down, well, that's because the current's instantly just pulling it up. To get that fly down a little bit deeper, cast a little bit more perpendicular to the boat or further upstream. It gives that fly a chance to sink way much deeper into the water column. And you can mend your fly line too. You'll get the same result. Pay out a little bit of fly line, give that fly a chance to get down deeper. Another technique we've seen is like, if you really want to try something, stick that 8-foot fly rod way down in the water.
I missed that one. That's a really good one. Like from the get-go, as soon as that fly hits the water.
Yep. Coupled that with what Dan was talking about, full sink fly line and a heavy fly, that thing's getting way down deep. And then also...
Too deep, like sometimes too deep. You can go too far and be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, you'll find the sweet spot and you can kind of dial that in. And also, Jake, a lot of these fish will come up.
That's true.
A decent amount off the bottom.
And not just in clear water. He mentioned they'll do it in dark stained water. They're not hunting with their eyes at that point. They're hunting with their lateral line and they are looking up.
Yep. And these fish can move, 60 feet per second or so. So for them to travel 15 feet is no big deal at all.
Mm-hmm. That was spot on. I think you rounded it out well there. We nailed all of them. If you still got more questions, Jake, reach out. But best of luck this fall. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Jake.
Let's talk about a little weather. Just like how do we think about weather? Maybe some predictions for the fall.
Temp drop.
We're still warm right now. I mean, it's warm, getting warmer. Water temps are still above 70 in southern Wisconsin. You know, they'll drop quickly, but weeds are dying off, but water's still warm. Weather's still very nice out.
Yes. There is that sweet spot of the temperature gauge that we're all kind of looking for, and that's when the magic really starts happening.
Yep.
But you will start to see almost immediate things becoming a little bit more active once you get into the 60s, for sure.
Yeah, and we're not as worried about the heat coming up, so I know there's like some 86 and 90s next week, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to have to be easy on the water temp. We don't really worry about 80 degrees after August because the days are so short. Mm-hmm. So the day has a longer time to cool the lake down than July 15th. So, and it's cooler overnight and like the water temps are going down even if it's 86 degrees during the day. Mm-hmm. It's a fun time to fish though. You get that rush to the shallows in September throughout the state.
Yeah.
And that's kind of about to start right now. They haven't fully showed up yet, but they will soon.
Getting some turnover on the lakes.
That'll start at the end of the month. Yep.
Yeah. It's always fun to rip up the river in the morning when the fog is rolling off.
Yeah, you got the morning mist. You're right.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
Good sign that the water temps are dropping, in case you didn't know. We also, just a little plug, it is September. For those that don't know, this is the month of our anniversary here at Musky Fool. We were founded in September 2020.
Woo woo.
Right in the beginning of musky season.
I think that needs a horn.
I get to use the soundboard again?
You get it, Dan.
Shit. Oh, shit. We're going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, yay.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
The Musky Fool. Thank you, everybody. It's been a wild 4 years. We got a lot more gas in the tank, so we ain't going away anytime soon.
Hell yeah.
Unless the Wisconsin DNR defunds muskies entirely and there's none left, then we will be going away, so make sure that doesn't happen. Just a plug to our last episode, even though we weren't going to talk about the DNR. You set me up, Josh. You set me up. What about fall predictions? What are you thinking? What's going to be the theme? What kind of stories are we going to be telling ourselves on January 1st? Will we be fishing till December 31st? Will this be the year of the Giants?
I was just thinking about that. I really do hope that we're out there fighting the good fight on New Year's Eve again. That was so much fun. But... I'm
fine if the season ends early, if it's great.
Yeah, if it's great.
You know, if we have another November like we had 3 years ago, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Oh, if I catch 350 inchers tomorrow, I'm ready to just
call it.
Hang up my rods for the season.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, random update. This was super interesting. Jason Quintano, big guide on Lake St. Clair, has the famous Calypso boat. Check this out. I texted you guys this. The bite window of all bite windows.
Oh yeah.
This is real shit. You can see this on his Facebook. Apparently, there was a bite window that they had on Lake St. Clair that lasted 28 minutes. And they caught 350s, 3 over 50 in 28 minutes.
That's the dude that's always sitting across.
Yes, and buys the dragon tails from us. That's Jason Quintano.
Oh, man.
3 over 50 in 28 minutes.
That's the most critical 28-minute period of your entire muskie career.
What the fuck?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and that's also when like a guy like Jason Quintano probably shows his skill as a guide, because it's very easy when you catch a 150 to fuck off.
Yeah.
For like the next few weeks, as opposed to like getting back together and getting your shit together and doing it again, and then also doing it again in 28 minutes.
That is unbelievable.
I don't know the full details. There might have even been a double. Like, who actually knows? Crazy.
Jesus, man.
Nice little bite window. But yeah, predictions. What are you thinking?
Predictions. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the length of the season. I think it would be overzealous to say that.
Well, you talked about your hopes. You hope it goes long. What do you think it will be? I hope it goes
long. I think we will get shut down, mid early December.
Okay.
Per usual.
So normal fall-ish?
Yeah, my hopes would be we get another day like we did like freaking 6 years ago in November. It was kind of like that too with Jason experience.
Bite window?
Like super small bite window, the day of all days that you live for. 4 fish over 45 that day. And never seen anything like it since.
No, those are hard.
And you think about it all the time. It's what keeps you going in the game. But I think there are going to be a lot of big fish caught this fall. The rivers, like we said, have been quite juicy and in play.
I agree. It'll be interesting how the temperatures, because I was reading something the other day that was talking about, I don't know if I sent this to you, was talking about how scientists have tied the low winter water temp is correlated to the high summer water temp.
Oh.
The lower the low, the less high the water gets, the smaller the peak is in summer.
That makes sense.
And I was asking this question because, for instance, in Madison, we had a kind of a prolonged period this summer of over 80.
Mm-hmm.
Despite it not feeling like this really hot, dry summer. It was actually a pretty wet summer. We had some hot periods, but nothing crazy. And it was like over 80. And we also had one of the warmest winters. The Lake Monona almost didn't freeze. So I think that might have contributed to it, where it didn't get that like frigid cold, and it kind of had a jump start on the spring, and it just started warming quickly.
And more like algae comes, so it just like perpetuates
faster.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the flip side of that will look like as we head into fall and as temperatures drop. Will winter arrive quickly and shut things down? Will we get a big deep freeze? How will that play for next year?
What?
We'll see. I'm excited for November, though.
You got any fish predictions?
Oh, fish predictions? I'm going to hope for the best. My predictions are going to align with my hopes on this one. I think that this is what's going to happen, but I hope.
You're going to will it
into existence. I do think there's going to be some fly-caught giants in Wisconsin late season. I think they'll come alive. I think there's a few folks who've been on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. There's a few fisheries that are still waiting to get primed and be in the right spot at the right time. That's my hope. I hope it happens to someone good. I hope it happens to me. Frankly, I hope it happens to you. I hope it happens to Gabe and Nick and Jake and Josh and Jen and Tim and nobody else. Charlie, you too. But I think like a 52.
52, a river 52?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Or at least a inland 52 on a fly.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some big ones. It hasn't been a big one in a couple of years.
Yeah, besides Nathan's big one.
Well, Nathan's is the last big one I was thinking of. And then before that, there's a couple big ones up by you. And then you had a couple big ones. And that was kind of the tail of the tape.
Man. 52.
And I do think it's going to be a long, warm fall. I think it'll be a late turnover, warm fall. We might be fishing to the 31st again. That'd be my guess.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Those are our fall predictions. I love it. We'll come at you with some more tips. We'll do some breakdowns. Like we said, we got big event, hosted trip. We'll be on the water, all 4 of us for 3 days. We got Treeland. So we got a lot of, we'll be talking a lot about our fishing in September. Hopefully it's successful. Unless you're on a different team at Treelands, you are hoping we're not. On that topic, just a quick plug on guide trips. We've been getting a lot of questions about getting in before the season's over. It may be too late at this point. September 6th is when we're recording this episode. I believe we are booked in September and October with literally a couple days left in November. So by the time this podcast goes out, I apologize if we actually are booked. Please reach out. There might be some cancellations in between. Otherwise, we are getting the calendar booked for next year, and we're already getting excited about that. So.
Cool. All right, next up on our list here is to talk about the new SA Sonar Musky fly line drop.
That's right.
I know you guys have been loving this fly line.
You were chucking it last night, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I traditionally don't throw two-handed rods, but
you were two-handing and I was one-handing. The world was flipped upside down.
It was crazy. This line has inspired me to play around with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. There's so much buzz in the community talking about this fly line. And like Dan said in a previous episode, it's the line we've been waiting for years.
True.
So Dan, you want to give us a little bit of a synopsis on what's going on with this fly line, what's happening, everything you've enjoyed about fishing this fly line? What are the best applications for it?
Absolutely. And then we also should talk about, we had a little drop ourselves, which was kind of exciting. We'll come back to that. So what had gone down is, I think about a year or two ago, Scientific Anglers reached out to many people. They reached out to us because we're musky guys, obviously, and sell Scientific Anglers lines and partner with them. And they let us know they're going to redo the Sonar Musky series, which frankly, we were like, okay, cool. But that, theoretically, it was just going to be the redo of the 350, the 400, the 450, and the 500. Those are the 4 grain weights it comes in. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, we weren't like excited or anything. We were like, cool, sounds good. And then about a year into that, we had been pushing on them we've been pushing on all of these line manufacturers for 700, 750, 800, make us some of the big stuff. Yeah. Some of them have done some of it, some of them. And SA finally said, we're going to do it. And the idea was to make an 800 grain custom cut Sonar Musky. So same essential taper as the new Sonar Musky, but this one skew, this one line, custom cut 800 grains with the idea that it'd be way too costly to make a 600 and a 650 and a 700 and a 750 and an 800. So they made an 800 with instructions on how to cut that back to your desired grain weight. Are you cutting it back to 500? Probably not. That would kind of be a weird line because it'd be such a short head. And you already have a 500 grain.
There's so many
Sonar
500
Musky.
options.
Yeah. But it absolutely is really fun to play with and cut back to that 750, 700, 650, maybe even 600. So really sweet. It's the only line like it out there in terms of being a cold water, freshwater, musky line coming in 800 grains. Mm-hmm. A couple things to talk about because I've already seen some weird behavior with this. To be expected, it's a weird line. This line was designed exclusively by our recommendation for two-handed rods. So there are already folks that think that they can put an 800 grain on a 12 weight or an 11 weight and get extra benefits out of it. And if you're single-hand casting it, what you're going to find is that's not the case. Doesn't mean overlining a 12 weight is bad. We just talked about it on the last episode, I think. But like 600, 650, 800 is
maybe 700.
Yeah, 800 is way too much. You're not helping yourself. And it's not what it's designed for. You have options that are better suited for that. And that's like the fun part and cool part about this line is I really have to give Scientific English credit because they made a line for basically us. Mm-hmm. Like there's one rod made that this line works on at 800 grains. If you go down to 700 grains, there's arguably like 5 rods in existence that this line works for. Mm-hmm. So it's a niche, but I think that's what's cool. There's a lot of I'll be the first one to kind of level a little bit of hate at the fly fishing industry when we're just like making things for the marketing department, the next new gimmick. And this wasn't that. This is like, this doesn't make business sense for scientific anglers to make this line. It is for anglers. And I think that's appreciated that a company like SA would do that. And also like why, even though there's folks out there who might, when all these new lines come out, I wish it was this instead. And it should be a 32-foot head instead of a 30-foot head. And I wish the running line was rainbow colored instead of yellow and blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of one of those, I think I'm having that moment of like, we need to remember why, if we want to have nice things like 800 grain lines, we should just accept what they are, because these companies certainly don't need to make them.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense for them to make them, quite frankly.
And to your point, it's cool that they just empowered everyone to cover all their bases too.
Yes, with the custom cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very exciting. There are new. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no.
There are new, like the whole series got a reboot. So now you have effectively Sonar Musky Generation 2, 350, 400, 450, 500, and 800 grains. There are some differences between this 800 custom cut and the 500 series, mainly in this like very nuanced in the head, but otherwise don't worry about it.
We're all a little nuanced in the head.
We are a little nuanced, and especially I feel very, very loose in the head. Nothing else really, though, changed. I mean, the change in the taper, no changes in coating. It's still the great Sonar Musky line we've always liked. So I guess kind of excited that they tweaked it a little bit, but didn't make any wholesale changes, at least to the original stuff.
That's awesome. Super dope.
So Sonar Musky, it was sweet. Go check it out. If you want to learn how to two-hand cast too, we also got a video on that, and I believe we talk about the Sonar Musky 800 grain line in that video. So,
we do. Yeah.
Shameless plug.
That's the movie star of that video.
Yeah. What about terminal tackle, fella? Tell me about that. You of all people have been that one. I want to hear your full. Give me your version of what has happened from
terminal tackle.
Yeah, idea to commercialization.
All right. So wait, how much time do we have?
The floor is yours. The floor is yours until I record scratch.
Okay.
That was not a record scratch, so you're good.
Okay. So the MF terminal tackle line that we just dropped this year, we've been super excited about it. Dan.
Sorry.
Okay.
Time's up.
I'm
kidding.
So Dan came to me with this project earlier this summer, probably in the spring, and was like, we need a terminal tackle line.
Oh, and it started from customers who were like, when can we buy the glider shanks? That was the first one.
Yes. And unfortunately, we have seen some of our vendors like kind of drop off on some of our
that too
near and dear products that are like,
big game
why'd
shanks.
they get rid of this stuff? Big game shanks. Yeah, exactly. And some other stuff that we use on a daily basis, split rings, wire rings, straight shanks. And then, no one's ever made a commercially manufactured glider shank.
Yep.
And that's the evolution of where everything's going right now. We're just talking about the big fly lines, the big two-handed rods. So now we need the shanks so we can tie on them. So we reached out to numerous vendors trying to work with their R&D departments.
What did you think when you were like, oh, this is going to be walk in the park?
My initial thoughts were like, okay.
It's wire. We can go to the moon. We can bend some wire.
Find a wire vendor that specializes in 0.051 inch wire, and Bob's your uncle. It's done, right? That was not the case. Like we came to them with all of these terminal tackle ideas, and they're like, well, we can do 3 of the 4, or we can do 2 of the 4. Or this other company could do a different 3 of the 4, but nobody could do all 4. We finally found a vendor that was able to kind of dial in their tooling a little bit and get us to the finish line. And we're super excited about it.
I think, could we say that this took longer than the brick and mortar fly shop grand opening?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. No, but we are excited about it. I think you guys have been asking about it for a while, and it just felt like it needed to happen. There were some kind of fakes out there, not fakes, but just no, you don't quite get it. That's not it either. Mm-mm. And I think we're excited about it. We're also just excited to have the 28 millimeter, the 40 millimeter, the 60 millimeter, and the 80 millimeter straight. Those are just basics. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's been a good hit. Yes. It was fun to make the marketing video too. You and I had a little fun brainstorm on that one.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, you did such a good job at that.
Something a little different from our normal video series. So Yeah, it's fun to test out all the new waters, and it's just been like a fun collaboration with customer feedback, the shop feedback from everybody, and just working together to make this project come alive. It's really cool.
And it was funny too. I'm just like remembering it all. We thought there was a moment where we're like, oh, finally, we got the vendor is making the shanks. We got the packaging. We got the bags. We figured out how we're going to put it all together. We're good to go. And then the packaging, like they showed up in the wrong packaging, and we were just like, oh, fuck it. Like,
we had a lot of back and forth miscommunication.
So if you're wondering,
I dropped the ball a little bit.
No. If you're wondering why the shank straights just maybe look like it's the screw is too small for the hole. It's harder than it looks bringing products to life, especially metal wire bent. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's up there with some of the hardest things that we've had to do at Musky Fool.
Yep.
We probably beat that one dead, but it's fun. Go check it out. We're interested in your feedback. We have some more ideas on this. We have some other little products. Like, again, I don't think Josh and I or anybody at Musky Fool looks at this as like we're trying to come up with this genius innovation. It's not at least how I look at it. I think it's just more about like, what are some of those staples that we feel like we don't have that we need
exactly
every day, always in your boat box, always boat bag, always just like it's a bummer if it's not there. Mm-hmm. And it's like stay locks and split rings, like it screws up your shit if it's not there, and then it's not actually that easy to go find where to get it. So if you have ideas like that, let us know. We got more coming.
Hell yeah.
Big shout out to Bam Bam for bringing that one to life. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he almost ended up on the no-fly list after a few communications with vendors, but
that's not true.
No, it's not. He's nice. Last but not least, we have another topic.
Spicy.
Yeah, this one spread like wildfire recently. I'm gonna kick it over to you to kind of tell us what's going on.
All right.
But I guess there's this wake boat video posted about fishing and the impact wake boats can have on our fisheries, and it kind of spread. And so tell me about it. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about wake boats, Josh?
The wake boat video coming around to social media platforms. Everyone's talking about it.
The Elgo picked up the wake boat video.
It did. It's very compelling video. So there's this organization called Lakes at State, and they're a nonprofit. And they've been doing some pretty in-depth research over the past several years. I think some of their scuba divers have even been documenting stuff since 2014, looking at the effects of lake boats and how that relates.
Wake boats.
Wake.
I follow you, but
yeah, wake boats and how that relates to the bottom composition on lakes. So, for those of you who don't know what a wake boat is, or a little unsure about how this is all going to come together, wake boats, they have a ballast in them, or they're really heavy or whatever. The typical boat weighs like 2,500 to 3,000 pounds. But when you fill up a wake boat with its ballast, it puts that ass end way into the water to produce a giant wake, so all the wakeboarders and all the crazies out there can do their stunts.
This is important, though, because I think as we actually begin this conversation on wake boats, like the broader fishing public, not all ski boats, not all recreational boats are wake boats.
Correct.
Wake boats are very specific at generating a giant wake so that you can wake surf or wakeboard in them.
Yes.
So just because you got a Malibu, just because you got a fancy boat, does not mean you're the bad guy.
Or a Mastercraft.
Yeah, but if you do wake surf, you are the bad guy, and we're coming for you.
Yeah. So the wake boats specifically meant to kick up a huge wake. They do that by dipping their ass end into the water, just like my arm's angled here. And what that does is, with their overpowered engines, because they got to move all that weight, they just eject so much power down towards the bottom of the lake. And studies have shown by these scuba divers going down, documenting the bottom composition over the last 6 to 10 years or so, is that it's decimating the bait fish population, all the food and everything, all the way up to depths of 33 feet. A wake boat can have an effect on. So imagine most of these wake boats, when they're starting out, they're starting in like
shallows,
7 to 15 feet of water. So
they're not only basically what you're saying is annoying the fuck out of us. They're actually
they're
there
actually
is
causing a
potential
problem that's
evidence that
affecting
they are
everybody.
causing a problem in the water.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's.
I'll be honest. When I first saw this go around the internet, I was pretty negative about it. Just being like kind of like what we talked about with the live scope thing on the last episode. I was like, really, is this what we're going to be distracted about next? Is wake boats for like, I hate them, but
yeah.
you know, how many are there out there, and apparently they do have a pretty outsized impact.
Yeah.
Like a disturbing the peace impact and an actually ruining the place impact.
Yes. And ultimately, that's just going to lead to poor water quality, which is something everybody cares about, whether you're an angler or not.
Yeah.
So
it's everybody's water.
It's everybody's.
Unless you have a wake boat.
Unless you have a wake boat.
It's also the ballast, too. I think the video didn't talk about it, but one other thing that sticks out to me as a uniquely concerning piece about wake boats is the ballasts. Now, this is also a concern about fishing boats, too, because we have live wells. And we have intakes, but anytime you're intaking water from a lake, a ballast, a live well, and then you're able to release that back, possibly to another lake because you empty your ballast at a different lake, or you drive to a different lake on the chain.
This is a good point.
Or you empty your live well. Again, I don't want to just pick on wake surfers because it's everybody, but they have huge ballast tanks full of water, and these lakes are usually full of zebra mussels, and these people don't usually know about those types of things. So again, I think I want to be careful to pick the wrong enemy, if you will, or like,
Yeah.
I'm still a little skeptical around like, are wake boats the problem? But this video definitely builds a compelling case for that.
Yeah, go check it out, see it for yourself. The experiments that they showcase in there, they flew a drone over wake boat starting in like 7 to 15 feet of water, and you can see all the sand and muck come up off the bottom. They had a scuba diver that's been documenting this one location for the last 10 years.
Cedar,
and showing the decline in biodiversity, and now it's just a barren wasteland.
And we definitely, I guess the other aspect here is like, we don't need to make this worse. We're already introducing zebra mussels. We're already introducing carp. We're already doing blue-green algae, warm water. And then it's like, maybe we don't also need to drive around in wake boats. Or maybe there can be some smart regulation around size of lake, certain water, like you can only do it in 30 feet of water.
Exactly.
Something like that. Because
there's got to be some happy medium, because you can't just go out there and say, okay, you just bought a $120,000 wake boat. Tough shit. You got to get that thing destroyed because you can't drive it. There's got to be something in there where it's like, okay, where can these people go and recreate and enjoy and yeah, just have fun on the lakes, just like we're all allowed to do as well.
Yeah. And I mean, to get like, go a little bit more left turn spiritual on this too. I think this is why fishing is such an important pastime and hobby and lifestyle for me to continue to propagate, because we are forced to confront and be humbled by Mother Nature and deal with her and adapt to her and listen. And the amount of angling success you have is directly tied to that. So if we were going out there and negatively hurting the environment to a degree that wake boats are, we would know about it because it would impact our fishing. But wake boats don't care because it doesn't matter, because their recreating is, I'm just going to say it, it's almost superficial. Mm-hmm. It's, and that's what I don't like about those types of things is, it's okay. Do what you want. Enjoy your time on this planet, but don't think that your opinion and use of these natural resources is the same as mine. Because you don't care. That water could be toxic to every living species, and you don't care about it. Mm-hmm. And that's just fact. Now, I'm not trying to say that about everyone, because there are, of course, some people that have a wake boat and a fishing boat. But those types of hobbies, I struggle with them. Because they're not looking at the bigger picture. And we're going to get labeled as, well, you only care about fishing. It's like, I know, but if we all just cared about fishing, you would get what you wanted too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Clean water, healthy fish, like that. So I don't know, a little bit of my soapbox on that, but that's what really grinds my gears about this is like,
I hear you. It's like that annoying person that doesn't understand you can't smoke inside of a confined space. It's like, we don't care if you smoke, just go outside. You're affecting all of us here, buddy.
Mm-hmm. I have rights too, yeah, I know. Well, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops. I think this will, that's really it. It'll be interesting to see how this develops and where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's going to do.
We'll put the link in the description. Lakes at State, folks.
Yeah, I think my last point on that too, it's like touchy for me because what did we talk about in the last episode? Massive existential problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is something like this, the wake boats, is a distraction from that? Or is it part of that? Because if we want to stock muskies and walleyes and bass in these lakes and have them survive, they need habitat.
Yeah.
So if we're destroying the habitat, so there's, is this separate and is this a distraction or is this part of the whole? And we actually should, I don't know, but it's something to think about. So wake boats, go check it out. Again, like Josh said, we'll post the link. Definitely worth a watch.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all the major topics today, folks. We appreciate you. It was a little bit of a shotgun approach, but we had a lot of fun stuff to cover before we go
to our Qwik Tip segment of this episode.
Yes. We've made this official now. This is the second one, the second official Qwik Tip. I'm gonna hand it over to Bam Bam.
Qwik Tip with a K. Brought to you not by Qwik Trip yet.
Hopefully
one day.
Brought to you by Qwik Trip.
Hopefully brought to you by Qwik Trip one day. Okay.
Free mozzarella sticks for life.
Oh, dude. Can you imagine?
It would be a good thing.
We'd have to find some good plumbing after that.
Oh, God, yeah.
This tip is all about saunas. Actually, how they truly pronounce it, saunas.
How are saunas related to fishing, one might ask?
Well, we're all using bigger fly rods. We're all casting bigger flies, heavier fly lines. We're fishing in colder temperatures for bigger fish. We're neglecting our bodies and our health. So saunas can help with that. You go sit in a sauna, chill out, get all the vibes going, get that sweat going, and then go take a deep cold plunge. And what that does is it gets all the blood going in your system, and it really invigorates all those muscles, and your joints feel better, your whole body feels better. There's some good effects.
Just look at him, folks. Just look at him. Like I said, he's glowing.
Yeah, it's the first time in 12 years I could fully move my arm in a circle without shoulder pain.
So genuinely, we may be a little facetious right here, but genuinely, you think this is a value add to your muskie program?
Yes, because traditionally, if you want to do a traditional sauna experience, what you do is you have your sauna right by a lake. So you can also fish while you're doing your sauna stuff,
Or do your cold plunge in your winter.
Yeah, do your cold plunge.
Soak some suckers while you're staring
suckers off the dock while you're in the sauna, and then you'll hear the bell go off because you're in the sauna. And then you run out.
Jump in.
You jump in. You fight it with your newly invigorated muscles.
Nice.
It seems like it.
And then right before you're about to go into hypothermia, you jump back in the sauna.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Let's just look at the science here. There's over 5 million people that live in Finland, right? There's over 3 million saunas in the country of Finland. That means every single person that lives in that country can fit inside of a sauna.
It's a very equitable distribution of saunas.
And here's what I love about this statistic is that they are the happiest country in the world.
You can Google this right now, he says. This is a fact.
It's a fact. Go Google it.
So that's the Qwik Tip, folks. We have Josh, a.k.a. Bam Bam, a.k.a. the sauna evangelist. He's coming. He's the sauna missionary. He's back from Finland preaching the gospel. He actually is building a sauna in his backyard. So if you want tips, tricks, and to come befriend Josh to get in on that sauna action, do I sound sauna?
You hear that, Laura? We're building sauna in the backyard.
It's got to fit two of us, and it's got to be close to the fishing hole, and also needs an ice bath and a TV and a tying desk.
Yes, all those things.
Over and out. Qwik Tip, Spot Burn Podcast, episode 30. Dan and Josh. Love you all. See you later. Thank you for listening to the Spot Burn Podcast. Coming to you from the dungeon, this podcast is presented by Musky Fool Fly Fishing Co. We want to thank our awesome sponsors, Cortland Line Company and Stealth Craft Boats. We also want to thank all of you, our listeners, for tuning in, subscribing, sharing, and spreading the good word. If you haven't heard, go check us out at muskyfool.com. Have fun out there on the water, y'all.